in different parts of the country, including PS Belio Kipsang. Away from that, today the National Dialogue Committee will be having talks and rather discussions with the State Department of Housing to address the impact of the housing levy. So basically, officials from the Ministry of Energy and the National Treasury are set to make appearances following recent concerns regarding financial operations of the Treasury that resulted in some budget allocations being inflated. And as I had promised you in the morning, we'll be updating this particular diary just to take a look at what is on today. Matters in the National Assembly. Today, the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations will today hold a meeting with the CS for ESC and ESOLs. There is Penina Malonza, and also meeting Musalia Mudavadi, who's the Prime CS, as well as Foreign and Diaspora Affairs on the ministry's first supplementary estimates for 2023 as well as 2024 financial year. So this is the first appearances for the two CSs before the committee since the recent cabinet reshuffle. And just to update you also on our top story this particular morning, we received it early this particular morning, just a brief on it. 10 people have died this particular morning in a grisly road crash along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. So the incident, which occurred a few minutes past 3 a.m., involved 14-seater matatu and a trailer which collided along the Ngata-Salga stretch. It is believed the matatu was heading towards Nakuru while the trailer was heading to Eldoret. Those injured were rushed to the Nakuru Level 5 hospital. We'll be updating you as soon as we receive more information on this, and also trying to link up with our correspondents from Nakuru to get to know what is the latest on this particular story. This holds rest in eternal peace. As I told you, this is a continuing story, and we'll be updating you as happened as early as 3 a.m. This particular morning, we'll be giving you more information as we do have it. Let's focus on matters education now and linking up with our Kisii correspondent, Alfayo Kombo, on the same, the whole KCSE exams for chemistry papers beginning this particular morning. Kombo, good morning. What are the latest in Kisii?
Thank you very much. As you get it, I'm here at the Kisii main prison, and if you may allow me to speak in Swahili. Pengine wakati huu ambapo tupo, wakati wanafunzi hao wamejiandaa katika mtihani huu wa kitaifa, siku hii ya leo watakuwa wanafanya mtihani ule wa kemia na ule wa Kiingereza, karatasi ile ya kwanza. Hasa wakati huu utakuwa nazungumza na baadhi ya wanafunzi ambao wapo hapo, wengine ni wafungwa na wengine ni rumandi katika gereza hili la Kisii. Tutakuwa na wanafunzi 4 ambao ni wa kiume. Hasa siku ya leo hatuna mwanafunzi yule wa kike, na naarifiwa kwamba wanafunzi ni 3, mmoja aliweza kuondoka kutoka gereza hili. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa nazungumza na watu ambao jina lake ni nani, na hasa wakati wamejiandaa katika mtihani huu wa kemia ambao ndio kwanza nao. Je, wamejitayarisha vipi? Wanahisi vipi kuhusiana na mtihani huu na matarajio yao ni yapi? Tutakuwa nasonga mbele hapa uweze kutueleza jina lako ni nani na unahisi vipi kuhusiana na maandalizi ya mtihani huu.
Kwa majina ni Davis Nyang'au Magogo. Mimi langu ni kuwa nimejiandaa vyema katika huu mtihani. Nina imani nitapita tu, hata nikiwa kwa haya mazingira kwa makosa kidogo. Nina imani nitapita huu mtihani.
Anampenda, asante sana. Pengine unaweza kupata vile mwanafunzi mwingine kusimama tu hapa. Tueleze jina lako ni nani, matarajio yako ni yapi kwa mtihani huu na umejiandaa vipi?
Kwa majina naitwa Elijah Nyagonda Michira. Nimejiandaa katika huu mtihani wetu. vilivyo na sina woga wowote, hata angawa kuna mambo mengi tunapitia hapa kwa jela. Tumesiliki na walimu wetu vizuri bila tatizo lolote, lakini kwa Maulana ya Mwenyezi Mungu tumechipanga kama sisi wana kidato cha 4 tutapita mtihani, tuko na matumaini. Asante.
Asante. Pindi tuzupata mwalimu naye atueleze, je, wanafunzi wapo wako tayari, wamejiandaa vipi na matarajio yako ni yapi kama mwalimu?
Naam, I'm Douglas Ogaj, teacher in Kisii Prison. I've prepared my learners very well. As we started this exam, I had 4 candidates. One was raised, and up to that, to the time we are starting the exam, he's absent. He has not turned in. But the 3 are very much ready to tackle chemistry paper that we are studying this morning, and then later on English paper 1. So they are very much prepared. They are very cooperative, disciplined people. Despite being in prison, they can make it. Education outside there in prison is just not the same. The paper that is being done in other schools is the same paper that is being done inside the prison. So they are very much prepared. We pray for God to give them good health so that they can go through this exercise without any problem. I think we are very much prepared. Thanks.
Asante sana. Kama ulivyoweza kusikia tu, mwalimu ametueleza, ametuarifu kwamba wao wamejitayarisha. Alikuwa anatarajia wanafunzi 3 lakini mmoja aliweza kuachiliwa, lakini hajaweza kufika ili katika kuweza kufanya mtihani huu wake hasa siku hii ya leo. Kwa hivyo ana wanafunzi 3. Kwa hivyo nawatakia mema wanafunzi wote katika taifa zima la Kenya ambao wanafanya mtihani huu wa kidato cha 4. Sina la ziada ila tu nitakurejesha usukani kwako studioni.
Thank you for that, Alfayo Kombo. And from Kisii to around Laikipia there, where the same happenings of the whole KCSE exams and opening of the exam containers. Let's listen in to what was happening there.
We are with other government officials involved in the exam, administration of the exam, DCC, Laikipia East, TSC Director at the county level, and other officials, senior officials. We've just witnessed the opening and closure of the container after release and dispatch of KCSE exam papers to our 27 centers in Laikipia East. Arrangements have been made to ensure there is proper transport for the exams. 4x4 vehicles have been deployed, serviceable and in good shape. We have again deployed security officers to ensure that all is done in accordance with the rules. Our center managers have been briefed time and again, and we did remind ourselves this morning of what we are supposed to do during this season of the exams. And we are very hopeful everything will go on well. Ours is to wish the candidates taking the exams this year in Laikipia County all the best of success in the exams, and to also wish everyone involved in this exercise the best of the health and energy to do the exams. We have also cautioned our center managers and those involved in the transport of the exams to be wary of flash floods that may occur in some parts of this county. We've assured them that arrangements have been made, if need be, to airlift the exams. We, however, hope this situation won't get there, and we shall be able to get the exams to the centers with the vehicles that we have deployed. Thank you.
Right, and just a reminder, if you're just joining us, the whole KCSE theory exams begin today. Chemistry and mathematics theory papers from Laikipia. Let me take you to Turkana now, where earlier on, the County Director of Education, Henry Lubanga, was speaking and just also opening that KCSE exam 2023 papers for this particular day. And those are just some pictures of earlier. Let's listen in to the sights and sounds there.
Make sure.
This year we have 5,389 boys and 3,521 girls doing this exam, bringing to 8,910 candidates. We have had a challenge in Nakuru area. We are expecting the chopper to come and lift the exam and a few officers from Kerio to Nakuru anytime. Others in other places, we expect the examination to begin in good time. Turkana County incidentally has the highest number of containers. We have a container serving one school, one center. And that makes it easier even for these new changes of having exams done in 2 sessions, because we have few schools being served by a container, and we expect them to get the examination for the second session in good time and also release the examination in good time. Turkana is a security area, and the government has brought many officers here to manage security. Some of them have been assigned to carry out examination in the 82 centers we are having, and therefore we don't have any problem as far as security is concerned.
That is Henry Lubanga, who's the County Director of Education in Turkana County. They're speaking largely on how this particular exam started and the whole matters security. But another whole factor and another whole predicament that can really factor in this particular exams is matters rains. Let me take you to Migori County, where despite the whole heavy rains that were being experienced in that particular area, the exams actually started in time. As you can see, this particular container being opened by exam and education authorities in that particular county as early as around 6 or 7 a.m. Just to also remind you, some around 903,260 candidates sitting for this year's KCSE exams, going all the way until the end of this particular month. So we'll be bringing you this particular images as we continue.
Atulie.
In Suna East, we have 33 centers, and in the morning, we have been able to pair the center managers with the security personnel. Each school has 2 police officers who are armed, and as a measure of dealing with issues of malpractice, NEC has put in place measures of opening the container twice in a day. That is 7 a.m. in the morning and 12:30 p.m. so that in the first session we open the container at 7, and for afternoon session, we open the container at 12:30. So I can say that as a team, we are well prepared. We don't foresee any challenge with the recent rise of the heavy downpour. All our centers are above. We are not expecting anything of like they'll be faced with the challenge of flooding, and in case of anything, we are equal to the task. We shall handle the issue as it emerges.
We reported that starting today and since last week for KCSE, we are presenting 23,354 candidates for this year's examination in 304 examination centers across the county, and we have 14 distribution centers where center managers are collecting exams from. So far we've not had any challenges, and I want to believe that going forward we are up to task, and any issue coming up we are prepared. Ours is to wish our candidates the very best, and our center managers, we've well briefed them. So in case of any issue that requires mitigation, we are ready to deal with it immediately. All learners are taking exams from our prisons, even hospitals, but for hospitals we cannot rule it out. Those ones we shall attend to them as the cases come up. So we are prepared for any case that comes up. Would be given an opportunity to take examination either in school or from hospital, depending on the situation that may arise. Migori, for the last 2 years, things have really changed, and you can agree with us that the cases of examination cheating have gone drastically down. It is our hope that none of those cases will come up this year because of the measures put in place. You have seen government has put in deliberate measures of ensuring the exams are collected twice in a day, just as the Deputy County Commissioner has put it at 7 in the morning and at 12. And therefore, we do not expect to see cases of exam malpractice anywhere in the county. Put in place multi-agency teams to look at the situation of flooding as they occur and advise on possible mitigation measures. So all the arrangements have been put in place. The governor and the county commissioner are heading that team, and we are prepared as officers working in this county to deal with any situation.
Songe nyuma tupate picha vizuri. Hapa ndio kuzuilia. Maana nimesimama nimekuzuilia. Hapa.
That is in Migori County happened earlier. The exam managers there and exam authorities talking about the whole matters, even the rules and regulations to be followed, and having a whole exam cheating and really have a decline in it. Talking about Migori in the past 2 years has been declining, and the fact that, well, today officially starts the whole theory papers for the next few weeks. This particular exam cheating matter and menace will be declining. But then, speak of matters, rules and regulations, I told you the next CEO, that is Dr. David Njagere, is in Kiambu, will be in Kiambu to officially open exam container and the Deputy County Commissioner's office, as I told you earlier. And earlier on, even as you can see on the screens, it was quite some light showers there, but all in all, the exams started. But away from that, also the CEO of NEC talked about the whole rules and regulations and how they should be followed, because at the end of the day, and these exams conclude, they will really be keen on how different exam centers, about 10,700 exam centers, how each and every one of them was really conducting the whole rules to ensure that they minimize exam cheating. Let's listen into some of these sights and sounds, even as some of these containers were being opened.
Only one. Yeah, this color. Green.
Oi, bro. Ada umeingia kwa video.
Will be conducted from 8 o'clock. Then the center managers will return those scripts to the container, and they will collect the second session paper at 12:30, and they will administer that paper at 2 p.m. That is the new rule that we are implementing, and it is mainly serving to address the challenge of early exposure of the second session paper. The second rule, and which has been there, but we are emphasizing it, is mobile phones. The rule is nobody is allowed to have mobile phones in the examination center except the center manager. All other phones should be kept in the center manager's office. If we adhere to that rule, I am sure the challenge of early exposure of the second session is going to be addressed permanently. People trying to cross rivers when they are bursting, no one should take a risk to do those kind of things. They should call our call center. It is open 24/7, so that they send the district signal and we will be able to respond to them. In this examination, and explained to them very clearly our expectations of what they should do to stay away from malpractices. So everybody knows what they need to do to make sure they stay away from malpractices, and the sanctions are there in the event that anyone engages in any malpractice.
The issue of security of examination materials, that one is well covered. But in general, the security of the county is okay. Nowadays, we rarely hear of armed robberies.
Right, there you definitely have the CEO of NEC, Dr. David Njogera, talk about the whole new rules of how these particular exams will be administered. The whole chemistry, theory, the first paper, and also mathematics later on in the afternoon, and what the exam managers really have to do. Also, as you were seeing earlier, the whole contingent of police officers there really speaking on the security of this particular exams. But then, and just to update you also, as you have realized, there are different exam authorities and education authorities in different parts of the country. And the TSC CEO, Nancy Macharia, was today in Mombasa County, officially launching opening the Vita container in Mombasa County for the KCSE examination materials, as well as Basic Education Principal Secretary Dr. Belio Kipsang was supervising the distribution of KCSE examination materials at Westlands Sub-County Container in Nairobi. Another important detail that you really have to know for this particular morning, related on matters education, the Committee on Education will today meet with the Minister of Education and TSC to consider the 2023-2024 supplementary estimates. This is on matters education. Let's steer away now from matters education and go back to the conversation we were having earlier on matters World Pneumonia Day. The guests this particular morning say that even though this particular function and day will be held on the 20th of November, which will be on a Sunday. So this particular day will be held on the 11th. And our very own Chichi Josephine talked to residents there in Nakuru just to get their sentiments on this particular detail. Director, I don't know if you can cross over to Chichi Josephine in Nakuru to get the latest on that. Chichi, if you can hear me, what are the latest and what actually are the residents there talking about when it comes to World Pneumonia Day. I mean, we're having the data from the experts there, from Minister of Health on all that. But what are the residents there saying, and what are the experts there saying when it comes to World Pneumonia Day, and how can we as a community really engage in the fight against pneumonia?
Well, Stan, a very good morning to you. Yes, like you said, today we're discussing matters of pneumonia, even as we head to the World Pneumonia Day on 12th November. But also understand that pneumonia is a silent pandemic that causes more deaths more than the coronavirus. But also understand that this particular pandemic has not been given the proper attention and also funding that are necessary to combat it. And of course, understand that kids, more especially children who are under 5 years of age, really suffer from pneumonia and of course die from it. And understand that the World Health Organization said
Right, we do apologize for that. Probably some whole technical and network issues all the way from County 032 in Nakuru. We'll try to get Chichi Josephine a little bit later on, but definitely we can take a short break right now. Just a sip of water. When we return, try to get Chichi for that particular updates on what the experts and residents there in Nakuru are talking about when it comes to matters World Pneumonia Day. I'll also be giving you more details and updates in different parts of the country. Don't worry. Stick around for that. Right, welcome back, and as promised before, we'll try to get back to Nakuru, County 032, discussing matters World Pneumonia Day. It is going to be on the 12th of November, so just understanding why are we really having this kind of a day, and even the whole fight against pneumonia. Chichi, early on, you're really keying about all this particular stuff. Talk to us about this matter, World Pneumonia Day.
Well, Stan, sorry for that, but I was, of course, explaining just how dangerous is pneumonia, and I told you that pneumonia is a silent pandemic more than the coronavirus because it causes more deaths more than the corona.
Right, really seems that the whole network back in Nakuru doesn't really favors us this particular morning. But then, just to update you on our question of the day, regarding even the whole conversation that Fed was having this particular morning, do you believe the recent report on the performance of MCAs accurately reflects the effectiveness of county assemblies? Do you believe the recent report on the performance of MCAs accurately reflects the effectiveness of county assemblies in the country? Our social media handles are just right there. TV47KE, that is on Facebook, at TV47 News, that is on X. And just to sample about a few of this particular comments, at Muteki, that is on Facebook, says, yes, mine is so lazy and has done nothing. This is the second time, and he has done totally nothing. MCA in 020. Well, Muteki doesn't mention this particular MCA. It would have been lovely if you had mentioned he or she, just to really call them up and tell them why are you not really performing according to this particular resident of that county. Pundo Michael Draboro says not at all, and Omar Mayo says stories are jabba, probably reflecting on that particular whole InfoTrack report. Just to also continue updating you on what to expect this particular day. Now, remember the whole defamation case on a member of parliament, Mohammed Ali, on the whole Brookside. So the High Court is going to be giving directions on that particular defamation case. So definitely stick around on the corridors of justice. And also this particular day, Czech Republic Prime Minister Petr Fiala has arrived in the country for a 3-day visit. So definitely expect to see some pictures in State House with President William Ruto shaking hands with Prime Minister of Czech. But from State House, let me take you to Naivasha in Nakuru County, where Willie Dennis Njiru is. Willie, very good morning to you. I can see the sun is shining quite bright. Give us some updates to expect from Naivasha this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Stanley. It's indeed a good morning here in Naivasha. For the first time in a few days, we have some good rays here, as you can see there. And it is a good day here in Naivasha, and I'm at the sub-county headquarters here in Naivasha, where we anticipate to be having some gathering here at around 10 in regard to matters, budget proposals, and matters to do with finance in the planning of the county for the next 1 year. And as such, just to bring our viewers up to speed on what Naivasha really means in Nakuru County, nonetheless, that Nakuru has been elevated to city status. Nakuru County highly depends on Naivasha as a sub-county in its development and progress crossover. And as such, we have been having so much contribution towards the Nakuru County, precipitated by the high number of flower farmings around here in Naivasha, which contribute to the national GDP of 10%, which is a big contribution there. And we have the Moi South Lake Road that is highly infested for just to say, with high-end hotels, which also contribute significantly towards the income of what Nakuru County has to deliver in terms of income. And at around 10, The residents whom I have spoken to on my way getting here, they have alluded to their confidence in the government of the day, but nonetheless, they have insisted that they have indeed to have the lion's share in the allocations that are going to be discussed here in the whole kitty that is an allocation for Nakuru County. Why? It has so much to deliver in the same kitty, and as such, much has to be given back to Nakuru as a sector. And there has been a clarion call also in the recent past where we needed this county, sub-county also divided into two. That is to have two constituencies, and that is maybe shelved for another day. Actually, Naivasha, part of this Naivasha sub-county, just to say, equals some 2 other sub-counties within the Nakuru County. And as such, they say that allocations must not equal because we have some other sub-counties that are quite smaller, as like Subukia and Molo, which are quite significantly smaller as compared to Naivasha. And you remember sometimes back, for those who know geographically this area, it extended up to Lanet and moved all the way up to Maimahio. That was a very, very big constituency. And it was since divided at Malewa and extending now to Maimahio up to Suswa. And the resources that are allocated to this section of the county really need a big input because it's quite vast. And we have places like Maela where the roads are in deplorable conditions and need an uplift. And significantly, those regions are quite good in terms of agriculture. And if much is done to those regions, then we are going to see a big rise in terms of development and what this sub-county has to showcase in the whole of Nakuru County. So at around 10 a.m. this morning, we will be having Naivasha locals flow in here, and we are going to be having the sub-county admin as well chair this session. And whatever they deliberate on and whatever their quest and clarion call will be to the Nakuru County, those are things that are going to be put in on pen and handed over to the governor's office, that is Susan Kiheka in Nakuru, for deliberations, and then later it is passed in the county assembly. And Makiu, we have very good vocal MCAs around this place who actually have to advocate for the rights of the locals here, and it is quite a good thing to showcase all of this. And Stanley, if you find time, just pay a visit here. I know it is quite a good side of this country where you can come and have 1, 2, 3 days out and enjoy yourself. Thank you, Stanley. That is it from me here in Naivasha. I take it back to you in studio.
Most definitely, thank you for that, Willie Dennis, and most definitely we'll try to come to Naivasha, as you put it, and just see how things are. But then even important things that you're really raising there matters county public funds and how even in Nakuru that is being done. Speaking of the whole matters devolution, we'll try to get into from Nakuru to Nyeri County later bit on, where boots on ground there, Horace Olo is. But then just to update you, I'm actually being told he's ready. Horace, a very good morning to you. How is Nyeri doing, and what is the latest in that county, and what should we be expecting for today?
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu. Bila shaka nakujia moja kwa moja tokea hapa kaunti ya Nyeri, na kama ulivyosema, wakati huu ambapo hali ya anga imeweza kubadilika, bila shaka tunatarajia kwamba pia hali ya afya pia itabadilika. Sasa hivi najiunga na daktari ambaye tutaweza kutaka kujua kutoka kwake hali ya afya, tukizingatia wakati huu ugonjwa wa pneumonia. Hali katika kaunti hii ya Nyeri iko vipi? Wananchi wanaweza wakajilinda vipi kutokana na ugonjwa huu ambao wengi wanazidi kupoteza maisha kutokana nao? Daktari, shukrani sana kwa kuungana na sisi. Utaanza tu na kujitambulisha, kisha ugonjwa huu wa pneumonia hapa Nyeri unaweza ukasema kwamba hali iko namna gani, iko vipi?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Mwangi Joroli Mutahi. I'm a specialist in nutrition and natural health. I cannot specifically give the specific statistics about the disease, but we all know that when the cold weather and wet weather is with us, there is the potential for increased infections, and this is particularly to young kids, children, rather, older people, or those people who have underlying issues. When we talk about underlying issues, there are people, for instance, who have never completely recovered from the COVID virus. So the airway is generally weak, and so it's very, very easy to get infected. And also when it is cold, what normally happens is that our body's immune system, the body's ability to protect itself from diseases or to correct or to heal, to recover from diseases, that ability goes down because when the body is colder, then the body's biological systems are also a little bit challenged. So that's why it's usually advised that when it's cold, when it's in cold weather, we should keep warm and we should also keep dry. Because if you are wet, for instance, then that's a challenge to the body. The body will spend energy, part of its energy, in trying to warm up the body to the normal temperature. Yes.
Na ugonjwa huu umekuwa changamoto kwa muda mrefu. Unadhani ni shida imekuwa wapi? Mbona Kenya kama nchi tumekuwa na changamoto katika kukumbana ama kuhakikisha kwamba ugonjwa huu hauendelei kufanya Wakenya wengi wapoteze maisha? Ni shida iko wapi? Ni matibabu ndio hali ya matibabu iko chini, ama ni ile tu kutokuwa makini kwa Wakenya?
Pneumonia has always been around with humanity, and what has happened is that our lifestyles have changed in various ways. For instance, people are not eating as healthy as we used to do, and when you talk of eating as healthy, you are talking of eating a balanced diet of food. You have vegetables, you have carbohydrates, you have fruits, you have fat, you have enough water. Also, the foods that we are eating today are chemicalized. There is a lot of chemicals in the food chain, starting from the fertilizers that we use in growing our food, spraying chemicals, or farmyard chemicals, preservatives. There is also a lot of chemicals in the environment. The water that we drink is not as good as previously, and of course also even the environment, the air that we are breathing, particularly for those of us who are living in the urban areas. And also note that we are also more stressed. And when you talk of pneumonia particularly affects severely those people who have low immunity. And stress, high stress also means low immune system. So there is that. And then there's also another aspect of the modern medicine, which are good for us for emergency purposes. But remember, even a lot of kids are growing up with a lot of medicines that they are taking. Over time, there is what we call the chemical residue, chemical accumulation in the body, which turns out to be like poison in the body, which now lowers further the immune system that we are talking about, which is also affected by all these other factors that we are talking about. So there are a lot of things in there. So what we should do is, particularly for children, please ensure that they do eat a balanced diet. And also, it's very, very important also to limit sugar uptake, particularly refined table sugar. Refined table sugar, this is the sugar that we add in our tea, in our porridge, or we take it in sodas, or in various juices. Because what sugar does, sugar also raises the acidity. It causes an imbalance of what we call the pH, the acid alkaline levels in the body. And then when that happens also, obviously the immune system goes down. A lot of kids are exposed to a lot of sugar lately. You'll find a lot of young kids, even children, with candy, sweets in their mouth, taking a lot of sodas, taking a lot of juices. So that's very, very important. For adults also, particularly those people who are into alcohol. Alcohol, of course, has a lot of sugar. So, that person consuming alcohol may also be smoking tobacco or maybe other things. So the challenges that we are fighting in health are also partly self-inflicted, because the society has drifted away from the lifestyles that normally helps the body to preserve themselves. Yes.
And labda kwa kifupi tu kwa ule Mkenya ambaye kwa mfano ana magonjwa mengine yale, kama kwa mfano ugonjwa wa HIV, anaweza kujilinda vipi kutokana na ugonjwa huu wa pneumonia? Kwa kifupi tu.
Well, several factors. Some of them we have just mentioned. Of course, you need to eat well. You need to manage stress, like we say, because when the stress levels go up, then the body's immune system is weakened. But then what you can also do, myself as a natural therapist, we recommend also cleansing and detoxing. When you go to hospitals for modern medicine, they will never give you a product or a type of medicine for cleansing and detoxing your body. So you can only do that naturally. Those people who may be interested, you can give me a call on 0711 745-043. I'll be happy to give you advice on that.
Yes. Shukran sana daktari, na kama ulivyosikia hali aswa kwa wale ambao wana magonjwa mbalimbali, kwa wale ambao kwa watoto, hali haitakuwa nzuri sana wakati huu ambapo hali ya anga, hali ya weather imebadilika, na ina maana kwamba ni vizuri kujilinda kutokana na ugonjwa huu wa pneumonia. Olo Horace, na kuja kwako moja kwa moja kutoka kaunti Nyeri. Kwa sasa hivi sina la ziada ila kukurudisha kwako studioni.
Asante sana Horace Olo pale katika kaunti ya Nyeri, focusing on the whole conversation you're having earlier on when it comes to Matters World Pneumonia Day 2023. And it is 9:50, so that means it's about 10 minutes to the end of chemistry theory. Fred.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me back then, do you even remember the whole periodic table and what even is in chemistry?
You know, the difference between you and I is that I did my KCSE 24 years ago.
Back then?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You did your KCSE 2 years ago. So at least you can remember the periodic table.
But then
I remember the feeling around exam time. It's, and I think that has never changed. You know, that tension, and then towards the end you start feeling liberated, and you start feeling like an adult, knowing that that is also a trap out here.
Oh yes. I was listening to the CEO of NEC, Dr. David Njogero, talk about the new rules that will be administered even for this. And around 2 p.m. earlier I had said maths, but then it is not maths, but then English will be there, much as functional skills. From around 2 to around 4 p.m. it will be the second session. So going for 2 hours, and for the hearing impaired and also functioning skills Braille, going for around 2 hours, 30 minutes.
And the big one tomorrow, of course, tomorrow morning, the big one, mathematics.
Oh yes.
Paper 1.
Oh yes.
And then English paper 2 later.
Oh yes.
Teacher wa math ndio huyo anakuja.
Ulikuwa unasema mwalimu wa maths hapa ni wapi?
Yeah, reminder of our top story this morning. 10 people have died this morning in a grisly road accident along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. The accident, which occurred a few minutes past 3 a.m., involved a 14-seater matatu and a trailer which collided along the Ngata-Salga stretch. It is believed that the matatu was heading towards Nakuru while the trailer was heading to Eldoret. Our reporter, Chichi Josephine, is on that beat. She'll be getting more updates and we'll update you in our subsequent bulletins.
Oh yes, this even is a whole reminder as we do the countdown to Christmas. Remember to stay safe and drive safely on these particular roads. Even as we remind you the kind of highlights that we did have for you this particular morning, but as killer floods, raging floods have killed 17 people and over 1,000 livestock. So far, with close to 11,000 families displaced as rains continue to pound in different parts of the country.
All right, and even as we wrap up this show, a reminder of our countdown, 49 days to Christmas. How about that? And that's how we wrap up the show. My name is Fred Ndimuli. Have a lovely day.
I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyerungiti. On behalf of everyone who made this production possible, have yourself a marvelous Monday. See you tomorrow for some Tuesday fun. Goodbye.
Weekend.